What if the most powerful man in hip-hop isn't as untouchable as everyone thought? Because the latest alleged prison footage tells a very different story. Clips circulating online, reportedly leaked by 50 Cent, appear to show Diddy behind bars looking tense, not relaxed, not confident, not like the rumors that claimed he was comfortable inside. For months people said he was fine, protected, even thriving. But this footage suggests something shifted. And here's where it gets unsettling. Some voices are now claiming he could actually be in danger.
This guy's life might be danger over here because people think that he has something to do with Pac. People think he has something to do with Biggie. And they right here in Brooklyn. You understand? It's right here in Brooklyn. And some of the people are still mad that he made making of the band walk to Brooklyn from, to get the cheesecake, and just around the corner from the Cheesecake Factory. So, Junior's. So it might be some dumb shit. So y'all need to get him out of here and ship him to Jersey because somebody gonna kill him over here. Those are good arguments, if you want to call it, but it's bullshit. He gonna get the same treatment no matter how much money he got.
But this isn't just about a prison clip. It's about history. Because every time Diddy's name trends, two other names resurface with it. Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. Both legends lost within months of each other in the 1990s. Both cases officially unsolved for decades. And while Diddy has repeatedly denied any involvement in either tragedy, speculation has followed him ever since. Documentaries, interviews, podcasts, they keep reopening wounds people thought had scarred over.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to fuck? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Tupac was Shaziro T in Las Vegas in 1996 and later Ed from his injuries. Biggie was gunned down in Los Angeles months later. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry had already escalated into something volatile. And here's the part people miss. Tensions were boiling long before Vegas. In 1994, Tupac was Shaziro T 5 times inside Quad Studios in New York during what was described as a robbery. He survived, but he publicly said he believed certain people in that building knew something beforehand.
Think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was going to go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, we did, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh? So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? What? Can you explain these other holes in me? How'd I get gunpowder all over me? That insulted my intelligence. So, yes, I did say Thug Life was there. Yes, I bowed out, all of that. But when they said that, they breathed new life.
Some former insiders, including Gene Deal, have alleged that Diddy may have been aware of plans to teach Pac a lesson over disputes. These claims remain disputed and have never been proven in court. Diddy has not been charged in connection with that incident. Still, those allegations continue to echo, especially as new interviews resurface. Gene Deal has also
testifying
discussed
about
alleged
what he
money
says
trails,
happened with
while
Combs
others
in
like Kurt
2011 and
Burrow have
20...
suggested financial tensions behind the scenes. None of these accusations have resulted in charges against Diddy, and he has denied wrongdoing. But then, in 2023, something changed. Keefe D was arrested in connection with Tupac's K-Ling. And suddenly, an old 2009 interview began circulating again. In that past interview, Keefe D allegedly claimed that Diddy offered $1 million tied to Tupac's shooting. Authorities have since confirmed that Diddy was never officially named a suspect in Tupac's murder investigation. Diddy has denied the allegations. Law enforcement statements matter. Court records matter. But public conversation doesn't always wait for verdicts.
In the interim of being there to spy on Big, Jimmy Henchman told them that they finna show Pac, teach Pac a lesson. Because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was going to work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean. And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen about it.
He knew Pac was about to deal well, yeah. He was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them. When Jimmy Henchman told him that, he was there to see what's going to happen to Pac. He was there for that. Because had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big them. He would have went to that studio session with Big them. He knew what room Big them was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pac after Jimmy told him. And that's factual.
And here's where it gets messy. Some commentators have speculated about federal attention and alleged stolen funds, though no court has proven those claims. The tension between accusation and legal reality has created a storm of headlines. But Tupac wasn't the only tragedy tied to this story.
Yeah, Kirk Burrows, he also said that, he feels like, Diddy was behind Pac murder.
Yeah. If Diddy played a part in that stuff, like he said, Kirk know where the money came from. I'm going to say this. They tried to, if you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He said he paid for people to drive out of Vegas. I was heavily with Bad Boy at that time. I don't remember that part of it. You understand? I don't remember that part of it. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to Vegas in the whole 9 yards, it's hard to hide $1 million, brother. You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boondang, a.k.a. my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us a check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million.
Biggie's final trip to Los Angeles has been questioned for years. Some reports suggest he didn't even want to attend the event at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Others have claimed additional security was requested and allegedly denied. Gene Deal has publicly stated that there were concerns about protection that night.
Keefe D's claim was an informant in 1997 who told investigators
that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to kill both Suge and Tupac, and that the Crip who was jumped at the MGM was in the group that had done the hit, and that they originally were going to do it at Suge's Vegas nightclub, but then decided to do it right away instead of waiting. This was exactly the same story that Keefe D told us a decade later. Very few people know that immediately after Tupac is shot and that white Cadillac is fleeing, one of the death row entourage, a guy named Alton McDonald, known as Buntree, chases after the Cadillac, and a second shooting takes place between the two vehicles. Alton McDonald's car is struck. In fact, within the Las Vegas files, there's a document that indicates that Alton McDonald's car had been struck by a bullet that night.
Yeah, and he even said that, like, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Puffy. By Zip stealing the money, now Puffy isn't connected to that shit. Or else it would have been like a hire or something, you know what I'm saying?
The FBI said it was just Zip.
So the FBI told you
said
the
he
same
was
thing.
a dirty motherfucker.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty motherfucker. Everybody crossed you. You're the last one to know every fucking thing. Even lawyers, your friends, everybody can cross your ass.
Former lapped detective Greg Kading has also spoken about the broader investigation, discussing cooperation and perceived complicity in interviews. Still, Biggie's case remains officially unsolved. No conviction. No closure. Just theories layered over decades of silence. Before Quad Studios, insiders have described rising tension between camps. Tupac himself warned in interviews that what started as rivalry had turned into something deeper, something closer to war. And if that night in New York planted the seed, some believe Vegas was the explosion. Others disagree. That's the divide. Chopper and others have openly speculated about Diddy's alleged role in Tupac's death, though again, these claims remain unproven and strongly denied.
I seen an interview that Puffy did with Fat Joe where he was talking about Biggie in his last moments in L.A., and he told Fat Joe that he didn't want to go to L.A., he actually wanted to go to London. But Biggie, he was the one that wanted to go to L.A., and he was the one that was pushing to go to L.A.
That's not true. My name is Kirk Burroughs. I ran Bad Boy Entertainment. I helped co-found it. I created the company with him. I raised from general manager to president. And at that time, I put all of those business plans together. And Biggie didn't want to go to LA, ended up going. What got him out there was a week ahead of time to ease him into the whole award show. He may not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever, a rapper of your stature getting this treatment. That would be something he would be interested in doing, but he was easily talked out of it by Sean so that they can make an appearance at an event in LA that Saturday night, a part of the posturing of not only did we come to the award show, not only am I recording my album out here, and Big is going to help me with some of the writing and maybe do something out here where me and him did this song in LA. I'm out on the town. And it was just too much.
Now fast forward to today. If the prison footage circulating online is authentic, and if 50 Cent is indeed behind leaking it as some allege, then this isn't just about old rivalries. It's about retaliation. It's about power. Gene Deal has even addressed rumors of retaliation strategies and dismissed speculation about a $1 billion lawsuit against Netflix as unfounded.
They wasn't going out to no party, no clubs, and no hip-hop scene. They wasn't doing none of that, brother. But that one particular night they go out, and it was because of Puff and D-Rock. Clark Kent said that shit himself. I've been saying it for years, but everybody was saying, I'm capping. No. What do you call Clark Kent? Is he capping? He's a vice president of a record company. You understand what I'm saying? He was DJing for Big. Is he capping? All these people should smack themselves, brother. Because what happened is, when people hear the truth, they can't believe it. Why? They can't understand it. But it happened. We couldn't have done nothing because it was no we. It was no we out there. Big had a security, Paul offered, Reggie Bullock. Puff had me and Kenny. We was down 6 to 8 other men. And it's 23 people in the entourage. And none of them got no guns. You don't go Cali empty-handed. We couldn't have done nothing, man. People still want to know shit about them. They should have had better security. I asked them before we going to go out? Let's hire some more security. They refused to hire more security. They refused to hire more security. Kirk Burroughs said the same thing. They ain't have it in the budget. Not without Big, they don't have no budget. How about that?
Later in the docuseries, former LAPD detective Greg Kading stated that he believed Diddy had made the investigation more difficult rather than easier.
My perceptions have changed slightly, gradually over time. Today, I look at Diddy through a different lens than I might have 10, 15 years ago. There were obviously some early red flags, but it's a complicated thing because we have to be very careful about falsely accusing people or even, making accusations based on nothing more than speculation. And we just haven't seen all the evidence. So I prefer to kind of withhold judgment on some things. I can tell you regarding Diddy back when Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls were murdered. He wasn't exactly cooperative. He didn't do what you would assume a friend or, a manager, so to speak, would do. So from a law enforcement perspective, he was very unhelpful in an area where he ought to have been contributing towards getting some type of justice in those 2 murder cases. But as we found out in time, he was complicit in one of them, and which would make sense why maybe he didn't cooperate in the other, because the 2 were, they were just, we always understood that they were somehow interconnected. And so if you're going to cooperate or provide information on one and you're culpable in the other, one thing could lead back to the next. And that's where I think he understood his own vulnerability.